Hello. Since your last hair, I've done a little bit. I've stuck my fan in, 90mm. It's a free wing. That's out of a T45, and it's the in-runner motor, not the out-runner motor. Gives about 10% extra power. 130 amp speed controller. Again, a free wing one. Comes out of the same airplane. That was the foam T45 super scale. I had it for a couple of years, and yeah, it had a few knocks and bangs, so it got retired, and that's the motor going to be used in this. I'll put a couple of strappers along the fuselage, just a bit of planking, 12mm by 2mm strips. That's what they give you in the kit to do the fuselage with. Just to basically, I lined it up one end to the other, made sure she was straight, and pinned a couple on each side, and it just gives it that rigidness so it doesn't warp or go out of shape. So I've done that on the tail from the just after the induct end or the front end of the wing to the end, and later on what I'll do is pin it back down and do the same with the front and make certain the nose is nice and dead straight. Other than that, what I was going to do today was just show you how the internal ducting goes. You don't just skin the airplane and the air flow round inside it. It's ducted through a tube, and the tube is actually just made out of quite a thick papery card material. It's all it needs to be. Obviously if you put water through it, that's not too good, but it shouldn't get water through, and this is all it needs. So that will be for the outlet tube, okay, or exhaust of the motor, and then later on we shall do the inlet tubes as well. Basically all I've got to do with this is roll it and stick it through. It sounds easy, it isn't always easy. So she'll have a little look to see how it goes. Roll it fairly tight, a lot smaller than what you need. Stick it up the hole towards your motor. So it's already started to come apart there. There we go. I want the join to be up the top there. It's surprising when it just gives a little and lets out how tight it holds the wood. So I want to twist that just a little bit, because I want the join here so I can put these cables for the motor through, like so. There we go. A bit better. You want it nice and tight up to your motor, as tight as you can get it. We don't want to lose no thrust going into the airframe, or it all needs to come out the back and gives us thrust. It's gone in quite well. Put a little nick in it here, just round these wires. There we go. Right. All looks pretty good. Now it's just opening it out. This is where a really good broom handle comes in handy. That has actually gone in very well. Right. That one has gone in probably the best one I ever done. Some of them you can spend hours getting them right. Like I say, you might want a nice piece of broom handle to stick in here so you can push out when you get each bit in position, and then a little drop of glue. I've just found myself a nice piece of carbon, so it's got enough strength into it. Stick it up, push this up to where we want it. Make certain that's touch from the outer ring, and a little drop of the old CA glue. Back this way a bit, just there. And again, a drop of the CA glue. There we go. Now, what you don't want to do, don't worry, you'll get a few bits open up here on the join. The join is the last bit to do. If we do the join early, then we won't be able to widen out the tubing as we need to. So don't panic if you end up with a piece come up or a gap there. We'll sort that out later on. So the main thing is to get the tubing in and rounded, right expanded out as far as the former's let it. Alright. Now I tend to start with this one here, the one nearest the motor, and work down. So unless you work down, they'll start to straighten out then. So that one looks pretty good, this one. Yeah, worst bit is there. There we go. There. Yeah, it's gone in well. Right, second one. It's all pretty good down here. So that can just be glued straight away. She's got a lot here though. There you go. Do it bit by bit, can't rush it. So just do this quarter here. Get that held. Got it. Now, I don't see how much you can see in through there, but as you can see, there's a good 1/2 inch gap. So there. Got it. So that's them 2 formers done. Now it has pulled this a bit back to part. Nothing serious. Basically hold it in place and run a little super glue in it. If you have to, you can even put a strip of tape along it. You know, I'd put a bit of glue on the tape because it will be under pressure once the motor starts running. But you could do that if you find your stuff's a little bit too small or opened up too much. This is going to just about do it. There we go. Now I probably will use some tape this end near the motor hair. I will probably take that into a nice circle. I'll just put some tape between hair and hair. If it needs to be, I'll probably use just your ordinary masking tape, probably my frog tape I use for masking. But if it needs to, I'll even put a drop of super glue on it. Once that's in place, I mean, this is only card, as long as it doesn't get wet, it's fine. So the frogget tape will be plenty good enough for it. And I'm just making a seal. Now, the pressure on this tubing is outward, should blow on through the tubing. When we do the inlets, the pressure on that, because you're sucking into the motor, can collapse them. So what we will end up doing is we'll make the paper bits up for these inlets, and then we will use what I call runners, which are just 2x2 small pieces of balsa, and they'll run along and then glue them onto the paper, and they actually strengthen the paper and hold it and stop it from collapsing. So these are always the awkward bits. Right, I'm going to hold there because I'm going to have to make another piece of tubing up to finish this end, and then I'll do that all in one so it matches this, because each hole looks like it gets a little bit smaller as it goes down the fuselage. So, somehow I'll just when I get getting there. There, a little bit of nib plate and a bit of tape. That looks pretty good. Like I say, that's blowing out from there, so it's pushing everything away from the fan anyway. The main thing is to get all the air going down and out the other end, giving us as much thrust as possible. So that should do the job nicely. Yeah. Now I've got to cut another bit for the back end, and once I cut that, I shall fit that. I shall fit it on the outside of this piece and through here, and then shape it all to this hole and seal this last end of it up, and then that will be done. I think on this plan I've got to leave around about 1.5 inches coming out, which will then have to be shaped for the back of this airplane. So that will be done at a later stage. Then I shall be doing some sheeting. That'll help get some strength into this. It's pretty good, this framework as it is, but these bits are a little bit weak. Got to be a bit careful. Broke this one here, look, I've got to glue that up. So getting some sheeting on it will be good, and like I say, it keeps it straight. So that will be good as well. And I shall get a bit of sheeting on, and then once I've got enough sheeting on, we'll start looking at the tile. So I've been through the plan, checked this, Basically got to glue the stabiliser on and then sheet round the stabiliser and block, and then sand and shape accordingly. I think the vertical stabilisers and the elevators, I think they can go on at a later date, but I shall have to double check that as well, how they work and go on. So yeah, it's all coming along quite nicely. I shall have a chat with you on next time. I'll get this tunnel done and I'll do the inlets, and then I'll show you how the inlets look once they're done before I sheet over that part. Okay, nice to see it. See you next time. Bye bye.